This is day 19 of our challenge tasting a new Canadian wines every day until we hit 1,000 subscriber. So here we are today tasting Lakeside Cellar 2017 vintage Cabernet Sauvignon, 100% varietal. So we're going south of the Okanagan, so on the western part of the country, the Okanagan Valley, the main wine region, and we are in Osoyoos. So Osoyoos is the southern tip of the Okanagan Valley, the warmest place in Canada, the warmest growing region, and that's why here Cabernet Sauvignon grows like a gem, like a charm in the South Okanagan, especially in Osoyoos. This is the tip of the Sonora Desert, which extends all the way down to Washington State. And I mean, this is dry, this is hot, and this was specific vineyard. Here you go. That vineyard, the Lakeshore Vineyard at Lakeside Cellar, is right on the edge of the Osoyoos Lake. So the Osoyoos Lake is the third lake from the Okanagan Lake in the northern Okanagan, which is the biggest, deepest body of water of the three lakes, and you have in the middle the Skaha Lake, and the smallest and the shallowest one is Osoyoos Lake, down obviously Oliver and Osoyoos. Not as deep of an impact on the growing season and the growing condition, but still has an impact on the vineyards, especially when the vineyards are right on the edge of the lake, especially also at night, because it's so hot during the day and it needs a refresh. It needs to cool off at night to preserve the natural acidity in the grape so the wine can age properly and gracefully. So that's why we have now the 2017 vintage. So I want to see how's that almost 10 years old. So 9 years old Cab Sauv is aging. I want to see the progress of that wine. I believe that I rated that wine 92 plus. I believe back in the day in 2021 or 2022 when we featured that wine, it's been a slice. It's been a while. I want to see the progression of that 9-year-old Cab Sauv. I've decided early in the year, really early on, that 2026 will be the year where I taste a boatload of Cabernet Sauvignon from Canada. We started with the bang with the Fairview Cellar Iconoclast 2015. We tasted 19 De Silva. All of these wines were amazing. The 16 Bellaterra from Niagara on the Lake as well. So we're on the roll with Cab Sauv. So now 17 Lakeside from Osoyoos. Like I said, the southern tip of the Okanagan, the warmest spot in Canada. Let's see. Oh, look at that deep color here. No sign of oxidation at all. Dark fruit tobacco, like pipe tobacco. I almost feel like someone is lighting up a cigar around here. Yeah, really dark fruit. This is awesome. Black currant, torrefaction, just like Mira mentioned yesterday. I love that term. Grilled toast, coffee grind. Yeah, so this is a really good sign, but no oxidation on the nose, no bruised fruit, no a little bit of savory, which I always expect from the South Okanagan. Really dry, bring a little bit of savory note. This vineyard is sitting on the land of the oldest commercial orchard of the Okanagan. The vineyard was planted in 1999. So we're looking at 27 years old vines here. So fairly mature. We're not talking baby vines anymore, right? But now in 2027, in 2017, when this wine was harvested, these grapes were harvested, it was a 20, 18, 19-year-old vine. So vigorous, but also mature enough to have roots who go deep enough to bring substance, minerality, complexity to the grape as well. So I like the nose. It smells good to the outset. So let's try. Let's give it a swirl. Let's give it a taste. Mm. No oxidation on the palate either. A few things here. We're talking about now they're on the 2021 release. So 4 year past the release. We're 4 vintage up. 2017 vintage was up and down vintage. High high heat spike, cooler spot as well at unusual place, an unusual period of the year. So it was a roller coaster of vintage 2017. But I tasted some amazing wines from that vintage. Like I remember the 2017 Black Hills Syrah was one of my favorite. So lots of 2017 were really, really good. Great structure. So here, and it's a $30 wine. I remember back in the day, I was 27. So not a high level of acidity anymore. So I feel like this wine is at the end of its prime window. Maybe another 18 months of prime window. If you have that in your cellar, I surely recommend to pop the cork on that wine. It's great now. Soft, really, really soft. I mean, the tannin have completely melted in the structure. Absolutely. One thing is very surprising is the texture. Texture is creamy. The texture is velvety. I mean, if you pay $27 in 2020, 2021, or 2022, this wine is really freaking interesting for that price. Really dark fruit cap sauve, soft tannin, that black cherry, black currant, lots of the black licorice as well. Cedar. This wine spent 24 months in American oak. So there's no French oak here, only American oak. I get it on the back palate, definitely on the finish. That little coconut aspect, that what you can find, like vanilla milkshake, coconut, these more like the peppery. The peppery doesn't explode, but there's a little bit of cinnamon as well who lingers. So I can get the American oak here. It's not unpleasant. It is really pleasant. I mean, if I rated that wine, I don't know, probably 91, 92 at the beginning, because the price is amazing. Amazing, especially for 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. Go around the world, okay, for a single vineyard, single varietal Cab Sauv. This is rare to find that for $27, okay? Outside of the Sierra Foothill or outside of these massive vineyard of Central California. I mean, it's hard to find a Cab Sauv at $27. Now, I mean, $30 for the 2021 release. This is now ready to drink. Yeah, I would give that wine at the moment 91 points. That would be my score today. I would love to have with that a steak. I would definitely, maybe a leaner steak, maybe a tenderloin, not something too fatty, because the tannin has completely resolved a lot. So I would go something with a little leaner. And you know what? That would be great also with the meat, like a meat lover pizza or a lasagna. I'll get that. But I love the texture. Texture is rich. Texture, it's not lean on terms of texture. It's like the right texture. I really love that. The tobacco on the nose reflect also on the palate. And I like also that little charcoal-like minerality after that really soft and creamy mid palate. That little torque to close up, which means like, yeah, there's still a little bit going. Like I said, maybe 18 more months before starting the drop down, the drop off. So yeah, a good wine. I'm glad that it's open now. I'm really glad that it's open now. This is 2017 Lakeside Cellar Cabernet Sauvignon on a vineyard with vines planted in 1999. We are in the south of the Okanagan in Osoyoos, British Columbia. Now, that's for today's wine. Okay, if you haven't subscribed yet, we're tasting a new different wines every single day here. Whoa, I almost knocked the bottle over. Almost every day here on that platform. And that's our wine for today. Subscribe and help us to share the love, to share the joy of Canadian wines, okay, across the country and beyond. I was talking to a winemaker today and said, oh, thank you for tasting our 2016 Dickinson Vineyard Merlot at Hillside. Someone from Vermont was watching the show when we tasted the Dickinson Hillside, I don't know, on day 5 or 6, and contacted the winery to let them know that, to see if they had any more of these wines available because they thought it was very interesting. So love that. If you love this show, share the love. Share the love. It's awesome. So what I want to do right now, I was tasting another wine from Dobbin Estate. We're hosting Peter Gamble, one of the OG of the Canadian wine industry, on a Zoom tasting at the end of the month and with our collector members. Something that you get with the collector membership here at Carl's Wine Club. But so I'm tasting their very first estate Pinot Noir, which is absolutely amazing. Such a great spot on the Beamsville Bench, the 20-mile bench in on the Niagara Escarpment. After tasting the Chardonnay 2020 a couple of days ago, now I'm doing some tasting notes on the 22 Pinot Noir, their very first. And I realized, I'm like, yeah, guess what? We tasted the Clausen Chase 2022, the South Glow, a couple days ago, 3 or 4 days ago. And I wanted to see, same vintage, 2 rock star producer, 2 rock star winemaker. How's there's 222 from the same province are looking beside each other, just in terms of style. Stylistically, how's these 2 wines are doing alongside each other? Okay, I just want to do a little comp here. Not which one is the best, which one is better, not which, like, no, it's not the point. My point here, I just want to see the difference. I just want to see the similarities, if there is any, right? Because Prince Edward County, it's a completely different region than the Niagara Escarpment. So, color-wise, I would say there's a little bit more depth into the South Glow Clausen Chase. If I remember correctly, versus what I tasted this afternoon and what I tasted a few days ago, I would say that the Dobbin is more earthy. Like this Dobbin showcase a boatload of earthiness, mossy type of wine, really much more old world. Even if this, like I connected the Dobbin South Glow a little bit with a bone style, Burgundian style. This is more like which appellation in Burgundy will give me like darker fruit, but like mossy, floral, earthiness, mushroom-like. Let's say it's maybe Nuit Saint-Georges, maybe. Nuit Saint-Georges are a very powerful type of Pinot. This at Clausen Chase will be more of a Savigny-les-Beaunes, right? Or type of thing. So more earthiness on the Dobbin, definitely. Let's see how they fare right there, side by side. Yeah. Now, Clausen cheese after 3 or 4 days, much fruitier. Even if they've never had a ton of earthiness in on the South Glow, much more on the fruit. So the Dobbin has more tannin. Also, just opened, right? I opened a couple of hours ago. So we're not talking apple to apple here, exactly open at the same time. But I would say the Clausen cheese offer more fruit up front. Like I said, more of a bone style if we refer to Burgundy. And the Dobbin will be a little bit more of the Côte de Nuit, something more more structured, something more on the earthiness side. So very interesting. Same vintage, same province. Completely two different spots, right? Prince Edward County versus Niagara Escarpment. So I just wanted to give you a little preview of that, see the difference. But the wine today was a Cabernet Sauvignon, a 9-year-old Cabernet Sauvignon from Lakeside Estate, or Lakeside Cellar from Osoyoos in the Okanagan Valley. A wine that I think is ready to drink now. Just right there before exiting his prime window of drinkability. If you have that in your cellar, this is time to crack it open. So, once again, we are tasting a different Canadian wines every single day until we hit 1,000 subscribers. We are now halfway there, almost. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, click the bell below. Follow us here on YouTube and on the other platforms. So, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you for day number 20 tomorrow around the same time.